Hello, are you there? Can we hear ourselves? We got this light here. Welcome aboard the Alaskan Gypsy.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's getting creepy in here.
Anyhow, we're on board the Alaskan Gypsy. We're going to go outside and show you a little tour of what is going on around here. We're kind of closing in on hopefully going to launch this boat pretty soon. And some stuff happened today that I didn't even film and I'm not going to make a video of because I'm just kind of grinding away on my punch list and not really wanting to take the time to make videos, film videos, or edit videos. And I know that some of you are interested in staying up to date on what's going on, so we're just gonna let you see what's going on. Let's see, trying to get some chat things set up here. Just gonna show you what's going on live, real time, on the video. So we're gonna go outside and walk around. It's dark outside, but we got a light, and show you the latest status on the boat restoration project.
Yep. Bright.
Okay, I got this light so we can see what's going on out there. So here we go. We're taking you outside.
I need to take off my slippers.
We're leaving the salon of the Alaskan Gypsy. We're here in the wheelhouse. It's a mess. But it's not as messy as it was a few days ago. We're starting to clean up outside because the shelter tent has been taken down. And I'm gonna get this camera a little bit better. And so a lot of stuff that was in there under the shelter tent now needs to find a home inside the boat.
In here?
Or tucked under the boat a little bit more. Ooh, spooky with this light, huh? Another nice evening. It's getting pretty cold though.
Yeah.
It's feels like it could freeze at any moment.
Yeah.
Like the concrete could freeze solid.
Feels cold. I don't have my lined pants on anymore.
First things first. William Monday, we just love getting to share your world. We get to live through your eyes. Pretty amazing. Oh, thanks, William. Look at this. We're going to set up this light here. Let me set this thing up. And we're going to step back and I'm going to show you this boat because, by golly, we can actually see the boat now. Still got some tape up there. A little cleanup to do. Here's the shelter tent. All the plastic from the whole shelter tent right there. The outside layer, the shrink wrap that never got shrunk.
We washed it off today and folded it up for a friend.
Yeah, we're not gonna throw it away. Saving it from the landfill.
She looks so good.
There it is. We got a new neighbor. Big steel boat with an aluminum top house. It's called the Redemption. And they're gonna put a bulbous bow on that sucker. Anyhow, there's the Alaskan Gypsy. So nice to be able to see the lines of the boat. Don't have that tent around it anymore. Not only can you see the lines of the boat, it's also got a beautiful bottom now.
Yeah. Does it look so sick?
Yeah.
He's almost there. Almost ready. Getting so close. Good job, Scott.
Audrey wants to be in the video.
No, I don't.
Yeah, she does. She told me so.
Whatever. Scott.
All right, well, let's go look at the rudder. Okay. I'm gonna take you around back and go trick-or-treating.
Whoa. Oh, jeez. Are you okay?
Blinded by my light, I ran into something.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Let's turn the camera around again. And now there we go. Look at that, folks. We got a rudder. Thanks, Gilbert. Appreciate your encouragement. We got the rudder mounted. Well, it's temporarily on there today. It's not actually totally mounted, but it's in position, and I managed to get it up there without a forklift, which was quite a thing, all by myself. That's what happens when you work by yourself without hydraulics for a long time. Figure things out. So the deal today was we got the machinist here in Wrangell made a new rudder post for me, and here it is, beautiful stainless steel, and I drilled these 6 holes in it. That was quite an ordeal. I thought Audrey might have made a little video about that. Mark says, great progress. Can't wait to see it back in the water. Me too. How are you going with the parts inside that you had to rip out to get to the foam? Oh, not much. We'll go take a little tour inside, but here's the new rudder post, and we had to, what?
I have the comments up.
Oh, I had to cut this off today because there wasn't room for this, I don't know, you call it, it's like a rudder post tube. Not really sure why, but they had it all the way down to here. I cut 2 inches off the thing because there wasn't room. This actually still needs to go up a little bit. Yes, the rudder does have to come back out again, but I needed to get it fit up, and I'll show you why. So one thing, this rudder post is new. It's a new bolt pattern, new hole pattern. And I got the packing gland up inside the boat. So that's kind of a thing. And there's some stuff about this rudder that were pretty suspicious. And the machinist and myself, we were kind of wondering if it was going to go back together very well. But so there's the new rudder post. Got another couple bolts to put in, but those are temporary now. And down here, here's the chunk that I cut off that tube up there, the rudder post tube. I just marked it with tape to get my 2 inches, and then I cut it with a cutoff wheel. So there's that, and this is the bottom of it here. And there's a foot I'll show you inside a little bit later that goes on down here that this post sits in, and it actually has a little cutlass bearing in it. But that thing is kind of funky. This thing doesn't quite look like it's straight with the stem post in the rudder. And this also appears to be tilted up a little bit. So there's some stuff about this rudder that are a little bit concerning. So I cut this plywood template, clamped it in there, got the rudder sit in here, and then the goal was to spin it and see how it turned, to see if it was lined up right, to make sure that my rudder post up here and my rudder shoe down there, things were in line enough to where it wasn't going to bind up when I went to turn it. So I give them a little view of that because that's pretty satisfying. See, look at this. It actually is turning really easily. Look at that. No binding up, no getting pinched or torqued. It feels excellent. Nice, smooth, easy move. So what that tells me is that the rudder post, this thing, and this shoe down here, which is just plywood for now, everything seems to be lined up pretty well. So once we figured that out, it's not at an angle like this. That was kind of what the concern was, is that our new rudder post would be like tweaked that way or that way, and it would hit resistance as it spun. But that's not the case, so we're going to be able to reuse the little shoe thing down there. I also had to cut it down, and it had a chunk of a cutlass bearing in it, and I cut 2 inches off of it so that the rudder still can't fall out no matter what happens. Even if we end up on a rock right here, it'll jam it all the way up, probably blow my packing gland apart up there, but the rudder won't come out of the shoe down here because I left enough on there. But I'll be able to get it in and out. That's kind of the key part of this whole thing. So we'll go look at that in a little while. There it is. Got my new zincs on there, weld-on studs, one over there and one up here. And basically, I lifted it with a chain hoist from on board the Gypsy. This little ancient, it's kind of a cool chain hoist. It's got an exposed gear. It's a roughneck. My dad says this is a really old one. He was quite impressed with it. An antique. But the problem with it is fairly large, even when it's all the way contracted. So the machinist was kind enough to loan me this little baby one, and I was able to rig it up in such a way. Look how tiny that thing is. I was able to rig it up in such a way that I can actually lift, even though I only have that much space to work with. It's basically 5 inches. It's kind of a confined space for a chain hoist. It worked out. So, pretty excited. The other exciting news is that, just like every other day this week, they're gonna ship my prop.
Oh, are you guys still there? I think so.
They're gonna ship the prop and shaft tomorrow via Alaska Air Cargo, we're told. We'll see. But
Can you guys throw a comment if you're still there? I was trying to look at the comments and closed out of the app for a second. William asked, is there a stop inside that keeps the rudder from moving upwards?
Well, that's what this thing here. For one thing, there's the weight of the rudder. I mean, this thing probably weighs 800 pounds or something.
Thanks, Mark.
But also this, even if it did go up, it wouldn't be able to fall out of its shoe once I have the shoe in there. So, besides its own weight, this thing would stop it from disassembling itself. And then inside it has a packing gland which we can go look at. That also will be holding quite a bit of friction on it. So here's all the wood from our shelter tent though. All the boards, the yellow cedar 2x4s. There's our packing gland for the prop shaft. We'll be able to reuse that. Here's the old shaft. I don't know if you can see that, but look at the hole in there. This thing was really in bad shape. And that's what you can see. Who knows what's going on deeper inside of there. And back here, it was really looking bad. Look at that. Ooh. You don't want to see that on your prop shaft. And here's the coupling for it. We're gonna get a new coupling made. That goes on the engine end. This one was designed for this kind of funky drive saver thing, which I'm not gonna reuse. Didn't like that thing. That's the old one, but here's all the boards. They're yellow cedar rough cut, local rough cut, that we're gonna figure out how to repurpose, reuse. So still trying to figure out how to get rid of my sandblast sand. I just sent off a sample of it to a lab in Anchorage to have it tested to make sure it's not hazardous or leaching any heavy metals or anything. And if we get a lab certification back that says it's non-hazardous, non-toxic, which I expect it to be because I think it's just epoxy paint. I don't think there's any weird lead paints or anything in there. Then it can be used like on a driveway or something like that. Here's the old rudder post. Come in for the close-up on this one.
Yeah. I will. So read your comment.
This is the old rudder post with the old shoe. But look at the corrosion in that thing. That was where it was going through the packing gland. Really in bad shape. Pretty incredible, actually. Not something you want to see. This part right here.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to get back on.
That's not what you want to see on your shafts with packing glands. So the new one is Aquamet 22 stainless steel. It's going to be real nice. So let's head inside. Maybe one last look at the boat from back here. There we go. Still got to take the Ketchikan down off the name, but there she is.
Mark asked if we'll have enough room on the prop shaft for a clamp-on anode.
Not sure about the anode on the prop shaft. I see a lot of people put them on their, let's come look at the rudder on this one. Actually, this steel boat next to us has so many zincs on it, and they're the big ones. It's crazy. It's a big boat, but I don't know if I've ever seen a boat with so many zincs. But check out this rudder and propeller on this thing. I don't know what they call this, but look at that prop. It's got to be some kind of name for this system where it's like inside of this tube. But look at the size of the zincs, and they are everywhere. There is so many of them. Look at it, the ones around this tube. There's they got 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side, and then they got 2 rudders, and each one of the rudders has 2 on it. But this thing is some serious propeller and rudder design going on. Anyhow, I'm glad I'm not replacing one of those. Looks complex, expensive, and high tech. All right, we're gonna head back inside. Just had our dinner and dessert. Gave you the tour. The Gypsy, it's cold out. It feels like freezing tonight, but I felt that a few nights and then been wrong. I'm turning into a southeast softie, I think. Like, if it's in the 30s, I think it's really cold. Oh, we got the electric heaters going inside, and we're thinking we're gonna have to get our heat system figured out when we leave the shipyard and we don't have shore power anymore. Gotta start looking into how we're gonna heat the boat when we're out in the wilderness. Okay. All right, well, anybody have any questions? We're here in Gypsy headquarters. We're really looking forward to getting out of the shipyard and kind of hoping that that could happen. If the shaft and the prop come, the earliest they could arrive would be tomorrow, but it seems unlikely. Probably Saturday or Sunday. The passenger jet comes every day, so they could show up on any day, really. Okay. Oh, I was going to show you that rudder post part. Yeah, I'm just looking back through comments here. Oh, yeah, well, I should show you what it looks like in the lazarette.
It's so much warmer in here.
Thanks, Janella.
Not for long.
Are we staying around southeast or going back towards Homer? We'll be around southeast for a little while. Everybody keeps asking us that. We actually had an interview yesterday with the Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Board guy, kind of just talking about our shipyard experience. And then we had an interview with the local newspaper today.
Yeah.
And then
Local radio.
a radio interview. So we've been asked that question a lot lately. What are we doing? Where are we going to go? And our plan is to go get some deer and to pay back some favors. A lot of people have been very generous, and getting them some deer meat is a way to sort of return some favors, show some appreciation. So hoping to do that once the boat's in the water. The season ends at the end of November, I believe.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of time, but not a lot. But there's good deer hunting not far from here by boat. So that's option one, and it'll be kind of a good little sea trial too. Go out, short trip, anchor up, test things out, work out the kinks, come back to town, get some parts, ask some questions, hopefully drop off some deer. And then maybe we'll go over to a hot spring. There's several hot springs in Southeast that you can boat to. And we've been to one of them twice.
Right.
There's some other ones we haven't been to. But it's a time of year where that sounds like a good idea. And then I think we'll start watching the weather closely, looking for an opportunity to cross the Gulf of Alaska up to Prince William Sound and pick up all of our kids for Christmas in Prince William Sound in Valdez. So stay tuned for Christmas tree harvest hanging lights in the masts. We'll get some aerial footage of the Gypsy in a snow globe all lit up for Christmas. Can you imagine?
I saw 4 whales today on a walk with a friend, and I'm excited to get back out there and see what whales are gonna come visit.
Yeah. And you tell about the microphone you got.
Oh yeah, for my birthday this year, Scott got me a microphone special to record the whales underwater. So I'm so excited. Some of you may know if you frequent our channel that I'm kind of obsessed with the whales. So it's cool to still see that they're around.
Yeah, well, people say they're gone in the winter. They go to Hawaii, but then we end up saw them early in the spring and pretty late here in the fall. So I forgot, Janella. What is the name of your other YouTube channel? Alaska Viking Family. Alaska Viking Family. So I'm going to take you into the lazarette. Thanks, Mark, and show you got. Here's the new rudder post coming up. There's a packing gland for it. I don't have the stuffing in there yet, but I just have it in there to sort of line it up. And so this boat up from Ketchikan. I don't know if the pump is bad, or it kind of seemed like maybe it just had an airlock in it, which doesn't surprise me, but I wasn't able to bleed out. I talked to ComNav, the company ComNav, and they said, "Oh, you can buy a new pump for $4,000." I said, "No thanks." There's our generator I haven't ran yet. Got to figure that one out. Make sure it runs. I think it will. Previous owner Bill was kind enough to put a brand new Raycor in here for me because the fuel pump was leaking on it. So that was one of the things he did, getting the boat ready for us. I think it'll probably run just fine. So now, here she is.
Hi.
I'm going to take you and show you in the workshop. I got that Rudder shoe foot base. I don't know what to call it. But I got the door closed because it smells like epoxy paint in here. You have to excuse the mess. But here it is. I'm going to turn off this little heater. Now, how do I turn this thing off? There we go. I was just getting that nice and warm. So this, the rudder sits down inside of, and it has the cutlass bearing in it. And it didn't get painted or sandblasted really, so I cleaned it up pretty good and then put a heavy coat of this epoxy barrier coat, Amercoat 240 LT. I absolutely love this stuff. It is, I just think it's amazing. It's basically like epoxy, but it's paint. And so there was some big divots in this thing, and I just filled them with this stuff. These are about 1/4 inch deep. You can't see it because they're all filled with epoxy now. But I just did this a couple hours ago. It's already set up. I've been getting it nice and warm. But this is a primer. It's a barrier coat. It's a really heavy duty. Adheres really well to less than perfectly prepped steel. And it looks pretty bad, but I'll be able to sand it if I want to, or I can just put bottom paint over it. But I got it painted on both sides, so that can go in probably tomorrow morning and get everything bolted in, finished off, and the rudder will be done. But maybe I should wait until we get our prop and shafter here, because really I don't want to totally secure the rudder in there. I wonder if I lost you guys. Did the feed stop, Audrey, when I went in the shop? I forgot about it.
Oh yeah, shoot, that always happens.
Did it happen?
That's where it stopped. The door of doom.
If anybody's on there still, let us know. I did the thing I'm not supposed to do. I went in the workshop. Wait, it's still going? Oh, you could still, oh wow, I'll be darned.
crazy.
Oh, thank you guys for commenting. Yeah. I think 3 times we've walked into the workshop and lost our live feeds.
Wow, weird.
So that's nice. It didn't happen that time. It's a lucky night, I guess. So got to remember that. Anyhow, there you go. If you got scratchy in the last, yeah. Well, we're lucky it survived. But
did you get any comments while you were gone?
I don't know. I was just showing him the rudder foot. So
cool.
that's the status. A big day for the rudder. That stuff. It was kind of, we weren't really sure how that was going to work out. If it was going to line up or turn into a major headache. Thanks, Mark. Got to remember not to walk up there. But pretty good news on all the rudder stuff. So now once the I got to clean out the stern tube, make sure there's no sandblast sand in there, and then I got a new cutlass bearing coming, and good work on the alignment. I need to put the new engine mounts under the engine. Show those to you. These are the new upgraded engine mounts that are barely gonna fit in the back, but I think they will. They're the Cummins Marine Berry Control style mounts. Apparently they're much more solid and keep your engine and shaft in better alignment as they age, whereas the kind that are down there now are prone and known to sort of slowly degrade over time and lose their alignment, which might be partially why the shaft and the engine were so grossly misaligned when we first got the boat. So these are hopefully going to offer a long-term solution to that in a more adjustable and more solid motor mount. So that's pretty much the report from the project here in the shipyard. Today is Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think it's optimistic to think of Monday potentially being our launch date, but I'm still going to think about it and pretend as if it's possible. But Audrey's got some stuff she wants to do here Monday, so energetically she's fighting me.
I have a Reiki appointment scheduled Monday afternoon, so we can launch in the morning Monday and just leave in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah. If I have it my way, we'll launch late morning on Monday. And I think that if the shaft comes on Saturday, I think it's a totally reasonable idea. I'll be busy until then, absolutely, but I think it's within the realm of possibilities. So, all right.
It's coming. Yeah, it's feeling like we shouldn't order things anymore online and have them show up at the P.O. box. And it's feeling like
our time as Wrangell residents could be winding down.
Yeah.
We've done our interviews with the newspaper and the radio channels and the Chamber of Commerce. We must be finished here.
Yeah.
Time for gypsies to move on.
But I'm excited to come back. I really loved it here.
Yeah, William's saying, put it in the water and leave anytime.
Exactly. We can't wait to get it in the water. We'll do whatever feels good.
But the thing about, once this boat's in the water, it's not going to stay in the harbor for long.
Yeah, no, we don't do.
Not to being in the harbor. For me, boats are meant to be moving or on anchor. I just never like them tied up to a dock.
Like our harbor visits are like daytime visits to do provisions and run errands and get out of there before the clock strikes midnight.
Yeah, here's a funny thing about harbors. At least in Alaska, you can stay in the harbor all day long for no charge. They count you get billed basically if you're there. It depends on the harbor. Most of them is between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. So if you're not there between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., you don't get billed. You're not charged for a day of harbor use. And that can be a really huge advantage. We really made good use of that one in Homer when we were doing a lot of loads of stuff moving to a remote property where we were living. We had a 44-foot boat and we would come into the harbor and we were able to use the launch and load ramp to load stuff and go to town to run errands and then leave, and it just didn't cost anything. but if we stayed overnight, it was over $100. And so it was pretty motivating
Yeah.
to not spend the night. But sometimes we were loading the boat until like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
and sort of like looking over our back. Is the
Gotta
harbor
get
counter
outta
guy
here.
gonna come? Oh,
Gotta get out of here.
I see someone was saying harbors are full of stray current electrolysis. Yeah, I know. It's a
Yeah,
good joke for us.
especially in Ketchikan.
Yeah, but it really is a thing, and the zincs last a lot longer if you don't spend time in the harbors. That's for sure. So that's a good thing. Getting closer to the goal every day, Terry says. You've done an impressive amount of work in a short time. Thank you, Terry. It's been a burnout marathon, and my morale is back up a bit. It was pretty, I was in quite a slump there for a few days. I think the weather was getting to me. I was super burned out, a bit exhausted, and I felt like I wasn't really moving towards the goals anymore, but it's feeling better now. Taking the tent down was a huge thing.
Right.
To be able to see the hull again and its beautiful shape and the lines, it looked like a boat again. And energetically, it was very inspiring for me to get a good look at Gypsy again as she's meant to be, not like a boat with a homeless shelter under it. Audrey pointed out that it looked like a homeless shelter. There was like women's clothing that I was using to pad some of the structure boards where the plastic went over them.
Like undergarment looking things.
Yeah, it looked like bras and underwear or tied on there. And then they got all wet, and I was throwing them on the ground, and and then there's plastic and boards and just junk, and it was under a boat that looked like a bridge. So anyhow, we're tidied up today quite a lot. Still some more tidying to do, but
yeah, we did quite a bit.
We're getting it tidied up. And so the bow thruster, someone just asked about the bow thruster. Who is that? Mark. The bow thruster is actually, I would take you up there in the workshop and show you, but I'd lose my Wi-Fi signal. Where's Freddie? He must be sleeping. If he was on, he'd tell me he's going to set me up with a Wi-Fi booster system so I can go everywhere on the boat and not lose our internet signal, but not yet. We haven't got to it yet. But the old bow thruster has been removed, and actually this evening I had a little bit of extra epoxy barrier paint, and I went ahead and sanded the patches under the floor in the bow where I had patched over or plugged the old bow thruster ports. So there is no bow thruster other than it's laying there on the floor because it's got these huge bronze valves that I can't throw away. And so I gotta take it all apart to get those big beautiful valves off so I can store them for the next decade on the boat. And the pump is probably garbage, but it has a hydraulic motor as well. I need to cap off those lines, and the whole micro commander control box, I need to take that out. But my idea is after I'm done prepping and painting the bilge up there under the workshop floor, is I want to put a nice compressor down there. So right where the bow thruster was, I think it'd be a great place for a nice big air compressor tank so that I can do a little bit of sandblasting, I can run air tools, and it won't be in my way, and I think it'd be an awesome use of that space where the bow thruster was. So you'll get to watch us leave the travel lift slip, no bow thruster. We're a bow thrusterless boat, and quite happy about it, actually. I feel good about it. I'm glad not to have that complication up there, another system that wasn't really working. I'm glad I don't have to work on it. And so it feels like the right decision. Someday if I ever want to put one back in, I can do it, but we'll do it right and not in the middle of trying to preserve the entire hull at the same time. So
It's very exciting. I remember going into the travel lift slip, trying to go in. The current was so strong, and it's a pretty narrow little slip, and it's a pretty big boat, and it was, Scott is excellent captain, but there's...
It took me like 4 tries.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of current. So
Yeah,
I
a
was
lot.
at the basically, there's a wall dock, face of a dock, and it's got a slot in it, and the current is running by the face of the dock, and I needed to back in. So
Yeah.
I had to, riding that current, I had to try and get the boat turned perpendicular to the dock before it drifted past the slip, and then back in before the bow got pushed down current. And it was almost impossible, honestly. I don't,
It was, yeah.
theoretically, maybe there would be a way to do it, but a long boat like this with a single screw and no bow thruster, basically what I ended up doing is just trying to get it to where we could bump into one of the piers and then just kind of pry and work our way around.
What did I have?
But,
like a big, what do you call it?
yeah, it was kind of a show, and then there was
just,
this
pushing
there was
us
this big,
off of the dock.
the thing was there was this big hose from the cannery that had a hole in it,
Might.
and it was spraying water out like a fire hydrant.
Oh gosh.
And Audrey kind of ended up needing to go in the spray zone to try and
soaked.
push the boat off the dock, which didn't really need to push it off, but to try and help us get back in without crushing the skiff. Anyhow, it's going to be a lot easier to get out of here.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, AK Flyer, I don't know. Honestly, it wasn't just new boat stuff. It was also just really challenging when I was kind of sitting out there in front of the spot trying to get a read on the current. Some old salty looking guy came up and he looked over the dock, and I could tell he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And I said, "Oh, we're getting hauled out soon." And he goes, "Oh, this place is effed." Yeah, that's all he said, and I know what he was meaning. He was like, "This is a really terrible spot to try and get into with a boat like ours." So I felt good about that. I was like, okay, fine. Even the locals know that this is hard. They're not all going to be sitting there laughing at me. They
knew it was
sounds like the guys that have been there know the challenge of it. So we just took our time and bounced our way in, and it went fine. It'll be easy to get out. So I saw Santiago said what a beautiful boat she is now. Yeah, we feel the same way. We're super happy with it.
Yes.
How do you steer such a big boat in the harbor?
Excuse me.
Well, for one thing, you don't get too arrogant, boastful, or prideful, and you remember that even the best captain can get caught by the wind or the current in a boat, and so mostly for me, I just try and keep a humble, good attitude about it. Try my best, but the main thing that I learned driving heavy, larger boats is you have to really anticipate. And what that means is if you're sitting there, you really got to pay attention, because once you see the boat starting to move, and it's just usually like, a half a degree or just the most subtle movement, and it's usually the current, sometimes it's the wind moving. But once you see that movement in the boat, then you know what the ocean is doing with you, and then you have to work with it, because working against it is very difficult, and you can get yourself into a really bad situation quickly. If you're trying to turn against the current, if the current wants you to turn this way, but you want to turn this way, it's very difficult. And usually what happens is you start trying to overcome the conditions with power, which creates usually speed and momentum. And then if anything goes wrong, you're usually heading in the wrong direction with speed and momentum, and it becomes irrecoverable very quickly, because a single screw, large, heavy boat, you usually can't back out of what you've driven into. You usually can't get out the same way you got in, especially not when you're dealing with current and wind situations. So all that to say, the best thing you can do is to really watch very carefully and see what the current and the wind are going to do with you. And then once you see that, then you work with it. So if the current or the wind is wanting to turn you that way at all, then that's the way you should turn. And even if it means you have to turn 270 degrees, if you're going with the current and the wind, it's going to be a lot easier. So that's the main tips I would give to anybody is, um, there was a helicopter pilot once told me this thing about learning to fly a helicopter. They said, if you want to go to the left, you think, I'll go to the left, and then you come back halfway. And the message there is just thinking about it is enough. And in fact, when you think about it, then you have to think to correct a little bit because you probably overdid the control input. And the message was just that's how sensitive a helicopter is. Well, big heavy boats aren't like that, but if you see it going to the left, then you probably need to correct to the right if you see it or sense it at all, if you're trying to go straight. So mainly I just go slow and work with the conditions. That's my main allies in it. And then, like I said, not being too arrogant or prideful, recognizing that things don't always go as planned, and just gotta stay on your toes, really. But going slow is usually the key, though sometimes you have to go fast to beat the current and the wind. So there's a place for power and speed, and certainly more as you get more and more comfortable with the boat, you know how it behaves and how it reacts. And sometimes if you need to effect a turn quickly, you do need to give a lot of power to get things moving. But how long are we planning for the trip from Wrangell to Valdez? John asked. Well, it really depends on the weather.
Whittier will be the stop before Valdez. Likely to pick up kiddos that are in more accessible through Whittier than Valdez.
Once
Valdez
we're in
is
the Sound, though.
Yeah, once we're in the Sound, yeah. Valdez is a 6-hour drive to Anchorage, and then another hour and a half to Whittier. But anyhow, it's 100 miles by boat, Whittier to Valdez. I thought you looked up, and it was about, which would take us like probably 12 hours.
He's talking about, was he talking about Wrangell?
Yeah.
Wrangell to Valdez.
Yeah.
So basically, Valdez is in Prince William Sound. It's at the north end of Prince William Sound. We're going to head to the west side of Prince William Sound first, so the far side from where we are now. But as far as I'm concerned, once we're in the Sound, we're in the Sound. It's all pretty easy from there.
I guess I was getting at that. I don't know how much time we'll need there, maybe a few days, but we don't need to get to the Sound until probably like December 10th, maybe. We're just kind of back pedaling dates, maybe like December 15th. I don't know. So we're just gonna kind of see what happens with the weather. We need to be in Anchorage by a certain date and Homer by a certain date.
I think what he's asking is how long are you planning for the trip? The trip, well, we did it on our other boat, the White Eagle, 44-foot boat. It goes about 1.5 knots slower at cruise. So it cruises about 6.5 knots, and I expect the Gypsy will cruise at about 8 to 8.5 possibly. Probably around 8. We'll run it pretty easy. So we're going to be traveling a little bit faster, and we have about the same distance to go. So we ran nonstop from Southeast Alaska to the entrance to Prince William Sound, and that was 4 hours of 4 days.
4 days.
4 days of continuous running. So what is that, like 96 hours?
Yeah.
And that was pretty good weather conditions at 6.5 knots. And we followed the coastline. We didn't go into any ports or anything, but we basically followed along the coastline.
We did that whole trip from Petersburg to Homer in about 12 days. Yeah.
So how much time will it take? I would say about 5 days, maybe a little bit less. If we had to take any weather breaks, it could easily go up, but I would kind of budget about that, maybe duck in for 12 hours or something if we need to. But if conditions are good, we could do it in 3 days. So
do what in 3 days? Cross the Gulf?
Cross the Gulf.
Okay, what about getting to...
Okay, the person is asking
I'm just curious.
to Valdez.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Oh.
You're Wrangell to Valdez, so you think Wrangell to Valdez is the only 3 days?
Well, once we're in Prince William Sound, Valdez is only 10 hours away. It's no big deal. It's kind of insignificant as far as I'm concerned. The weather condition is really the crossing the Gulf. Once we're in the Sound, we've got it made. Yeah, it's smooth sailing from there pretty much. Tim said, looking good. I know you're excited to get the new prop shaft, cutlass bearing, and prop. How soon can you splash after rudder and prop? All the through holes have been tended to. I just need to put new valves on the new ones. I want to replace the old crusty valves on a couple of them, but I just need to buy the valves and screw them on, basically. And I can shut those. I'm thinking hopefully early next week. Monday's my goal. Optimistic, but if the shaft and prop and bearing show up on Saturday, day after tomorrow, there's a small chance that even show up tomorrow. I don't want to get myself excited, but there's a small chance tomorrow, and then if not tomorrow, probably Saturday, and that would give me a whole day to install them, a whole 2 days really. So I think it's likely that we could potentially go in the water if they're able to launch us on Monday. Any future plans to come down to the South Pacific? Mark Weaver, thanks for your question. No plans, but everybody keeps telling us we can go anywhere in the world on this boat. So if enough people keep telling us that, who knows what'll happen. We were fantasizing about it today. How do you think the Alaskan Gypsy would look in Tahiti or something? We wouldn't have to worry about the heaters.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe someday. I could see doing that when our kids are older. When they had the ability to decide for themselves what they did with their lives, if they wanted to come with us and go on a huge adventure, especially if it was just a couple of them. I could imagine wanting to do that with them. By ourselves, I don't know. Pretty happy in Alaska. So, Terry, I haven't heard about the condition of Gypsy's sails and rigging. Good question. Do you think it would do some sailing on the trip north of condition? Thanks for the question, Terry. I love that question because it's something I definitely think about quite a bit. But it's also one of those things that I haven't even taken the covers off the sails. I've been focusing all of my energy on the critical components, which, as excited as we are about the sails, they are not a critical part of this early days on the Gypsy. But I have looked in late in the evening. Sometimes I go through the files on the boat, and I found some documents from the original sail order, which was pretty cool. In 1993, Mariner Sails in Ketchikan, Alaska, quoted out and built the sails for this boat, and they were $20,000. $20,000 and a few dollars back then. And the only thing I remember, there's 5 of them. 3 masts and then 2 foresails or staysails, and the aft sail, the main sail I guess it would be called, or is it the mizzen sail? Mizzen mast? I don't remember. 700 square feet. That's the big one. So the rigging, the lines look pretty rough. The cables at a glance look old, but I haven't seen any part of them that made me think, ooh, yeah, that's rotten. They're certainly not in excellent condition, but fortunately, it looked like they had been painting them and maintaining the cables for quite a while, so they might be okay. I certainly wouldn't want to trust them to any high strain, strong winds right off the bat. I'd kind of want to ease into it, which is good for us because we got so much to learn about sailing. We're going to take it pretty easy, and I'm certainly not going to be raising any sails with strong winds. We'll wait for some real nice, light, calm breeze to start playing with it and just kind of see how it goes, I think. So I would love to put up a sail on the way north. Absolutely. Hopefully the conditions support it. That would be very fun. Mark said, do you plan on filming the trip? Oh yeah. You're gonna join us on the trip, Mark.
Yeah.
Your first Gulf crossing, virtual Gypsy life, winter crossing the Gulf of Alaska. I mean, imagine that. I think it's gonna be amazing. So yeah, we'll definitely be sharing the trip. And not sure if we'll keep doing so many live videos or if we'll get back to editing videos, but we're really enjoying how these live videos don't require editing after the fact. So it's making it a lot easier to share the project and where things are at. And we can take questions, which is really, I think, is awesome. Oh. There is a way to make it so that I can see your questions quicker, but I can't figure out how to do.
I do look forward to starting to share videos again once we're kind of, for me personally, once we're out of the hustle and bustle. It's been super busy the last couple of weeks, just on the project, but also in the community with just a lot of different appointments and interactions and connections and
Whoops. Sorry.
networking, and there's just been a lot going on. So I feel like the computer time is going to be increasing here potentially shortly on stormy days. I love editing videos on stormy days. But
I was trying to adjust the settings so that there's less latency between our video and the comments, but thanks for the comment, William. The lives are really great for us right now, especially because putting pretty much all my energy into getting the boat ready, and not just physical energy, also mental energy, thinking about have I ordered everything I'm gonna need because of shipping delays and stuff, just trying to get ahead of it enough to where we don't get to Monday morning and realize that, oh no, we don't have the whatchamacallit for the whatchamacallit, we can't go in the water. So
well, and like, to be honest too, we want to take you guys on the journey in real time. We could be filming this and posting it later down the road, but
it's not as much fun.
I know, we want to share with you the fun stuff when it's happening too. So you know, that way when we're out there just really enjoying the beauty and the nature, we can share that with you too. So in real time.
Yeah, if we could have a YouTube channel where you don't have to edit videos very much, I think that'd be amazing.
I do like to edit videos though. I do like to edit a certain style of videos, but just the way things have been going right now with my life and with his life and our life, it just hasn't flowed super well for the regular editing, but I see that coming back. So not that anyone's asking. For myself, I do. Anyhow, but the lives are fun. It'll be so cool to go live and be like, look at the breaching whale.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, the orca's not going to bite our boat.
You know, purgatory is almost over.
We're almost there. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in to this crazy journey.
I want to see if I can grab
You're excited. Yay! It's so much more fun to share with you guys. It's starting to feel more like home in here. I'm like stocking up on provisions and thinking about leaving town. Yeah, that sounds cool. Live stream. I love that idea. That's not a bad idea. Just mount it and you guys can just drop in when you want. I'll check the comments twice or 3 times a day. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Sometimes it'll just be gray. A lot of times it'll just be gray and wet. Oh, do interesting blogs and put up a paywall for the extras. That's a good idea. I love to write. That'll be fun.
This is some kind of cool stuff. Like there's all these old folders on the boat of stuff, and it's really fun to look through them. And there's a lot of cool stuff in here. So this is a letter. It's probably flipped around for you guys because of this camera thing, which I should figure out how to sort that out so you could actually. Is that backwards? I think it's backwards. But anyhow, it's to Dave Hershert, the builder of the boat, and it's a really nicely hand-drawn detail of how to attach the sail to the boom. And it shows the knots, marling hitch, rope number 2. Install this line. First pull up the clew, then hitch down foot of the sail. I don't know. It's just kind of neat to see this stuff. You know, it's from 1992 where things were drawn by hand and written by hand, and they stamped their business name on there. But there's also these old letters from the sail maker, which is pretty cool. Their little marketing brochure from the 90s, and then it has their letters with the quotation from December 1993, and these handwritten, these beautiful handwritten notes, and So this is the sails, which if you're a sailor, you could probably appreciate this. So the mizzen sail, 775 square feet, 12-ounce cloth, hand sewn bolt rope and rings. It was $8,000 in '93. So that was the mizzen mast, 775 square feet. The main sail was 350 square feet, 13-ounce cloth, and that was $4,000. The foresail, 340 square feet, 12-ounce cloth, 3,800. The jib, 177 square feet, 12-ounce cloth, about 2,000. And then the top jib, or Yankee sail, was 256 square feet, and that's 10-ounce cloth, 2,000. Anyhow, $20,000 for the sails, 1993. I just thought that was pretty cool to have that
Here,
little bit of
turn
history.
your selfie photo mirror off. In your
Selfie.
camera settings, that's why the image is reversed.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I wonder if I can do... I don't think that changes it. I just tried to change a setting, but let's see. I think it's still backwards, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry. Well, I might have to do it before the live starts, or maybe it's in the settings for the live to start with. But anyhow, well, was there any comments? Yes, we have a Starlink for the boat. That's what we're using right now.
I think I'm gonna get us an extra.
Put up a live stream camera outside so you can log on. That would be pretty fun. Thanks, Santiago. Steve doesn't like the live streams. Sorry, Steve. It's all we got time for now. Oh, there's two Steves. Turn your selfie photo mirror off in your camera settings. Got to look into that. The anchors, that's something that should be on my punch list. I need to get a British fine thread bolt of the right size to change one of the anchor winch valve bodies from open center to closed center, because the valve is brand new, but it's not configured right for this boat, the hydraulic system on board. And so when that anchor winch valve is hooked up, nothing works. None of the hydraulics work. And that's one of the things that I'd like to try and sort out before we leave. But I need a certain, someone told me it was like some millimeter British fine thread, very unusual type of bolt that needs to go in there to change it from open center to closed center. If you know what that is, it's a hydraulics terminology thing. I have a very rough understanding of it, but yes, both anchor winches work and they should be ready to go. One of them was working on our trip up here from Ketchikan. The other one just needs that bolt so that it changes the way that it works. Yeah, I know the sales. I'm so glad that we're not having to go shopping for sales right now. That's what I've been told, is that probably the rigging and the sales for this boat would probably cost over $150,000 if we had to buy it all new right now. So grateful for that. Mark said, this is my first time chatting live. Went and got my wife the other day. Said, hey, come see my new friends in Alaska. Really enjoy watching the big smile on my face.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have the engagement. It is enjoyable to share all these things, and not everybody wants to sit around and hear about the boat all the time, but spread throughout the world, there's a bunch of you folks who are interested in it and share our enthusiasm for it. So that's cool to be able to share it with you. And we're excited about it, obviously. And
Yeah, I'm excited for the transition.
this is it. I'll show you one more thing out of the notes. I just love looking through these notes, but here's it. It's a I don't know if this one I think was hand drawn at one point, but this looks like a photocopy, but it's the mainsail, and it shows all the different features of how the sail is built. So it's pretty cool. Obviously, the guy, Mariner Sails, he really took pride in his work and took the time to educate his customers on what made his sails of high quality. So anyhow, proud to have some old Mariner sails. I'm quite certain the guy's no longer in business, so little bit of a legacy item there for some made in Alaska sales on the Alaskan Gypsy. So, William, we did set up a Patreon account, but we haven't even went back. I signed up and I made a couple of posts on there just to like see how it worked, but we haven't set anything up on there at all. And we talked about it the other night, and basically we're just sharing everything that we can right now. We're not withholding any content or putting it behind a paywall or anything, because we're sharing all the content that we're capable of creating for now. And that just feels good for us at this point in the journey. It's hard to really share any content since we're so maxed out with all of the work and the crazy schedule here, and Audrey's been actually pretty busy in the community in Wrangell, so this is all we got capacity for, and we're just going for it. And we're encouraged by the reception on YouTube for our content, and we obviously have a lot of room to improve our systems and probably some scheduling maybe, and the other accessories that go along with the YouTube channel. But for now, we're just trying to generate and share as much as we can and learn so much about it, the platform, what people enjoy, what they don't, and what we enjoy and what we don't, because first and foremost, we have to at least not hate doing it, and it kind of needs to be fun, or we just won't do it, because there's a lot of fun things to do in life, and neither one of us wants to spend our time doing something that we don't enjoy. So as far as the YouTube is concerned, we're just trying a lot of different stuff out to kind of see what feels easy and in the flow, and inspiring instead of draining.
I feel like there's a natural transition that's about to happen, for me anyway, and I think for us just creatively, with the mindset of getting out of the shipyard and into kind of settled into our natural state. It's not natural to go 18 hours a day for 2 months straight, and Scott is a creative and an artist as well, and like we both just naturally, I think there's going to be more to come than what we can even imagine right now. So anyhow, it's exciting.
I'll show you. This is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Essentially, I spent 20 years using cameras like this to document adventures and wildlife and scenery around Alaska. And this is my small lens, actually. But professional level SLR, this is a mirrorless camera, but really high quality camera equipment. And I would usually carry 2 of these and then a backpack full of lenses. And that was my creative content creation life and business. But since we've been in the shipyard, the only camera I've used is this little thing, and it is so tiny, and the quality of it is nowhere near as good as this, but convenience is king here, and this thing has filmed every video that I created of all of the projects on the boat. Were pretty much all filmed with this little tiny Osmo Action 5, and it has the screens on the front and the back, and it is incredibly easy to use. It's very small, so it can go in tiny places, and I can see what I'm filming on the front or on the back.
It's pretty sweet.
And it does time lapses just with the press of a button. Basically, I can hit the screen a couple times and go into a time lapse mode, or start recording. It hooks up to the mics without any challenge, and it's going to start recording right now. And you can even talk to it. You can tell it to start recording and stop recording. Oh, I just told it to start recording, and so it's going to do it.
I have one of those too that I use as well, and it's waterproof.
Yeah, it can go in the water. But
I
anyhow,
bought it in Hawaii. That's some cool video.
It's kind of the point with these little cameras for me is I've been using this because it's all I really had time for, and it's so convenient. But once we're not overwhelmed in the shipyard and working crazy hours, I'll get back to making content that I find beautiful and inspiring with my real cameras and real lenses. And we'll keep using this thing for little wide angle, like run and gun type of stuff, and in the water, and when it's really stormy out. So this thing is waterproof, pretty shock proof, really awesome little camera. But and it does really good. It's stabilized even, so you don't get very much shaking in the footage, and it's incredibly convenient. The battery lasts a super long time. I love everything about it, but it can't compete with the quality of imagery that comes out of a real camera like this. But it takes a lot more time to shoot good stuff with these cameras, and we haven't had the time. So anyhow, what Audrey was saying about things transitioning, I look forward to that too. Look forward to getting back to more artistic content creation and less just survival documenting the day-by-day stuff. So
there'll be a lot more natural inspiration and a lot more of a focal point with the Alaskan Gypsy Life channel. So thanks for sticking with us as we
bumbled our way
yeah, began just a couple months ago, and excited to keep sharing the journey.
Okay, well, I'm about ready to wrap this up.
So,
Last comments. I actually have a drone, William. And this has been the crazy way of my life recently, is I haven't even got out of the box. It's my 4th drone or something. But just been really going ever since we decided to buy the Gypsy. We've pretty much been on a non-stop tear, trying to get our life in order. I sold a whole bunch of stuff in anticipation of spending a lot on this boat and the projects on it, and had to build a storage shed to put our things in when we moved off of the remote property. And anyhow, it's just been one thing to the next, and then coming down here and just working like crazy on the boat. And so haven't made time to play with the drone or anything like that lately, but it's going to be amazing. Can't wait to see the Gypsy under sail from the drone view. It's going to be incredible. So look forward to sharing that with you.
good night.
She's ready for bed.
Or good morning.
Thanks for joining our live stream. Hope you enjoyed. Mark, thanks you enjoyed that update chat. Thanks, Mark. Us too. Look forward to seeing you all again,
guys,
on here. And you're inspiring us. I posted something about the project status, and a lot of people were saying they were happy for us and interested in the progress. So it inspired us to do a live update here and give you the latest day-by-day update on the project. So thanks. Keep the comments coming. Keep doing our best to reply to them all. And most of all, get this boat in the water ASAP.
yes.
Good night.
Bye.